Dylan
Okay.
Maloney is doing well financially these days. And you know why? Because all of those purple-haired colleges are paying it to go there and talk about its whatever. That's it. It's a lot of it's.
I guarantee, yeah. She had so many sponsors, and even, I mean, Bud Light was just one of them, but after that, they were doing, their sad story on their TikTok about how, no one's standing up for me. Bud Light should stand up for me, and yet all of that too got her even more sponsorships from the left. And I have to say, can we just stop? Can businesses just stop with this social justice? Like, to me, it doesn't seem smart to alienate half of your base, half of your customers.
I don't think Dave says surgery pays off these days. I don't think Dylan had any surgery at all.
No, I think she did. But I think she purposely didn't do top surgery. And I think, and maybe it's conspiracy theory, but I think the look she is going for is that of a 12-year-old girl. What do you think?
I don't think they've had...
Which is so creepy, because the men that follow her are, I don't know, creepy. I don't think
they've had any. Okay, has facial feminization surgery.
Okay, what else? Because I believe that, because she's been doing day 1 of being a girl, day 2.
I honestly don't think they.
But I don't think she's doing top surgery. See, she comes across like a 12-year-old girl, and she's got a lot of attention from men, which creeps out.
Dylan Mulvaney was a stage actor.
Yeah, she was actually in the show, the Book of Mormon.
The Book of Mormon.
But she was a man in that show.
Dylan Mulvaney, I think, just wanted to become popular, so it pulled a sundress on itself, and it went out and said, "Here I am, look at me," and acted.
And I think she really loved the attention and the fame.
Oh, well, no, they did it just for that.
But do you think that she anticipated having to go full transgender because of all of the influence?
I wouldn't even call Dylan Mulvaney trans. I would just call Dylan Mulvaney a drag queen.
Oh, I swear, David, I believe that she's had bottom surgery. And not that it's any of our business, actually. Does it matter?
I
really don't care if she has or not.
I've heard that they've had face surgery, but I don't think that.
Okay, you're just going in over her facial changes.
That's the only surgery I've ever heard of. I think she's still packing her twig and giggleberries.
And there it is.
She still has all of her wedding tackle.
My friend Cordog is gonna love that you brought up the twiggleberries and the tackle.
The twig and giggle.
Hot mic.
Dave says, "I'll never know. If I ever meet Dylan Mulvaney, I will send them to your house, and you can check."
Has he even given you his address yet?
Not yet.
Dave, is that by design? Because we want your address.
But no,
Just share it in the comments. That would be great.
I think young Dylan is still packing heavy. The facial plastic surgery. Dylan is what, early 30s now? That's not,
Yeah, but he had her Adam's apple removed. And I haven't seen any top surgery.
No.
But again, I think it's a little bit concerning.
Just facial feminization surgery only.
Most of her followers are men, and
really? I thought most of them were teenage girls.
Oh, a lot of them are men. Okay, all statistics are made up. But listen, I'm just saying what I've seen on her feed is a lot of men, and I feel like she's appropriating my culture as a woman.
She's doing Holly face.
No, she's appropriating every woman, but she does it so out there, and day one of being a woman. Oh, I've got cramps. I thought she was making fun at first because she was so over the top, and then I don't know. I mean, she could literally have been making fun, and then all of a sudden realize, oh my gosh, people are really believing me. And so, I mean, she worked for the South Park guys. They're the ones that did that play. So then I thought, what if she started out as a caricature, just like Dwayne is saying, and then all of a sudden she's getting all this attention from the LGBT groups, and she's in too deep now at this point.
It's LGBT plus IAA two-spirit if you're in Canada.
The alphabet mafia.
There's other stuff. I'm sure I forgot some, but I will not stand for you. Go on. I apologize.
You have to just break yourself in there. But so this is probably just really crazy. But I think that once she started it and realized she's getting all these followers, and then now she's getting sponsorships, and she's becoming
I think all the sponsorships are gone now.
Movement. Oh no, she's still making money off.
What sponsors is she getting now?
Makeup.
I thought was it Maybelline? I thought they dropped her.
She wasn't Maybelline. She's getting sponsorships from Allure, I know because I've been in battles on Twitter over it.
I know.
And I actually said, she's appropriating me. Why can't I be angry about that?
I know they go to different colleges and give speeches all the time. Like she got paid, what was it? Something like $18,000 for that speech at Penn State or some crazy number.
Hey,
fact check me.
Here's what I got to say about that. Good for her.
Good for the purple-haired morons.
She has started her own brand, and she is making money the American way, the American dream. I would never go watch her speak.
Next week when I show up in a sundress tucked hard. Oh my gosh.
She hasn't had bottom surgery yet because she hasn't been on hormones long enough.
Leaning in. Leaning in. Oh.
And when she actually on TikTok, she earns an estimate $50,000 to $80,000 per sponsorship post.
When she slides her.
Look at those are all her sponsors. Ulta's the one that on Twitter. It's a makeup
I know
company.
what KitchenAid is.
But I was on a Twitter feed of it was a meeting that Ulta sponsored with her, Dylan Mulvaney, and then another guy. Listen, and another guy who had a full beard and makeup on, talking about women's issues. And I made a post on theirs. Yeah, it's that funny. I wrote, "This is laughable. You two guys are up there appropriating women like caricatures and telling us about women's issues. You don't know shite about women's issues."
Hey, we paid to have her speak at Weber.
This is yay!
Stuff. I know what Crest is. I know what KitchenAid is.
Instacart is that. Instacart is where you can order your groceries. And
okay. Yeah, I've heard of that thing.
But all of these things, and Dwayne, if you post this stuff in the comment section, people can read what you're saying because it's very interesting. I want them to know.
Here,
the thing is,
I'll post it in there. It only shows up on. I don't know if it goes to the Facebook.
I'm actually I don't blame her for any of this. If people want to pay her to be their spokesperson, great. I want to know what these companies think is a good representation of themselves. I would rather know.
Hold on. I got to get the sound cranked off. This just so I can post it in here. So I'm posting in all of her stuff. Her and her penis are.
Okay, I don't want to talk about her penis. I don't want you saying that word again.
I just can't wait.
when she said
when
she
she's
did
when she's getting it whittled off, and she's like, "I'm doing this for the money."
She talks about on her feed sometimes. I don't follow her. It just shows up in my feed that she can't wait for Dr. So and so to
What
be able
feed?
to
Like
in
Twitter?
Twitter for Dr. So and so to be able to transplant a uterus. I was like, what are you talking about? The male body, the heart, there is actually lining around a female heart to protect it so that it can actually survive childbirth. Men don't have that. So is she really, not that maybe she probably would have a C-section anyway, but are we seriously talking about this? This is the person that all these companies want to speak for them. And I'm glad. Good for her. She's made a brand. There are people who are buying it, whatever. At least we know, right? I applaud her because this is America and anyone can do anything. But I just have a feeling that it probably started maybe as a joke or, hey, I wonder why this would happen. But now it's turned into she's like some idol to people. I'm just it's like the TSA when that woman and the woman was getting felt up by the TSA.
I just like how you're coming apart over this.
Oh, it pisses me off because I can't appropriate other cultures, but men can appropriate women. That's okay. And nobody calls it that because the left invented that. So when we call it back at them, then you're the worst. But here's the other thing.
Do we want to read this on here or no?
One thing that I laugh at the time is the headline that said that woman yells at TSA for touching her balls during a search. You can't make that up.
Oh, I remember that.
So much wrong with that.
Have you seen that show? Oh, what was that show? Sorority Boys?
It's not gay because it's the TSA.
It was a spoof, but the one girl, oh, my ball, Gina.
Guys, we have to stop playing in their circus.
Do we want to read this one, or is this
the circus?
Or is this a stretch for you?
No, I'm done with this crap. I'm done with it.
Feminine me.
I want people who are literally struggling with body dysmorphic disorder. I want them to get help. I want them to feel safe in their own skin. I want them to make sure they have support around them. I don't want them taken away from their parents by the state because you're not appropriating their gender or whatever. I think that parents need to take care of kids who are struggling with this in the most sensitive possible way, because these kids are struggling with what is known as a mental illness. Body dysmorphic disorder is a real thing. And to change your body at a young age, to me, that should be considered child abuse. Just like if I took my 11-year-old down to get a tattoo, people would be looking at me like, you might be out of your mind. Well, she really liked Dora the Explorer 5 years ago, so we got her a Dora the Explorer tattoo. My son wants to be a pirate, so we had his leg amputated, gouged one of his eyeballs out, and bought him a parrot. Like, do you see? We cannot keep playing in this sandbox because it is going to hurt people. If they become adults and they feel like they still aren't whole and want to do this surgery, then let them with their doctor make that decision. I don't want to get into that. I don't want to be in that business. I also don't want taxpayer dollars going into that business. Just like, taxpayer dollars won't help me if I can't get pregnant. They're not going to help me if one of my body parts isn't working. Hell, most insurance companies won't help women who need to do IVF or anything with hormonal shots. Even their insurance is like, sorry, we don't pay for that. That's elective. But now taxpayers are paying full price for transgender surgery. Are they paying full price for schizophrenic medications? Abortion's half off. Oh, I'll feel bad if Dylan Mulvaney gets a uterus transplant only so she can have abortions. Can you imagine? this is the world that we are living in. And we are giving so much attention to this. And we're playing in the sandbox with crazy when we actually should be sitting down kindly and sweetly and calmly and getting them help. And doctors and psychiatrists are looking at these people as long-term money for them, instead of helping them find comfort in their own bodies. I know what it's like to have a disorder where, well, I was diagnosed with body dysmorphic disorder when I was in my 20s. I know what it's like. And believe me, nobody sat me down and said, you know what? You should get down to your birth weight. You're way too fat. You should keep dieting. You wouldn't tell that to a bulimic or an anorexic. Why would we tell someone to cut off their genitals or enhance their genitals or try to change their bones, whatever they're trying to do? Why would we do that when these people need help and love and understanding? So good for Dylan Mulvaney. She's making money on her brand. I do believe that's what it is. It's a brand she's created. She's laughing all the way to the bank. So is every single doctor that decides that a 17-year-old needs surgery, that a 14-year-old, a 12-year-old needs hormone replacement, or all of that. They're laughing all the way to the bank. And now, like in Indiana, they're taking your child if you do not affirm the gender they say they are. And can you imagine in a court of law defending that? Well, this week he says he's a girl, but 2 weeks ago he said he wanted to be Batman. So he's a millionaire. We put we're just waiting for the money to come in. We build him a cave downstairs. Like, when are we going to, as a society, say, nope, let's get these people help. Let's help them.
Building a rocket because he says he wants to be an astronaut.
Right.
Here's a funny story.
Sorry, I get heated about this because I have so much compassion to these young kids that are going through this. I have been through something like this. I know what it feels like to not feel happy in your own skin. I can't stress that enough. I know the last thing I needed was for somebody to come around and go, "You're right. You really are gross."
And I shouldn't laugh at the
you have to laugh or you will cry.
Demise of our nation.
The demise of our nation, exactly. And
but this is all a sign.
Understand.
This is all a sign of wall nations collapse, wall civilizations collapse. And the wildest thing is this is happening across all of the Western nations, all the European, all the Western nations, all of the where liberalism was born.
You don't see this
is collapsing
in Asia, like China. You'd never see this.
But they're not collapsing right now. They're Russia. On the way up.
You'd never see this in countries that have communism. I mean, it's not allowed. You're not allowed to be an individual, and you're not even allowed to be gay.
Hold on, in Iran, you're allowed to be transgender. Actually, you're forced to be transgender if you're gay. Iran touts they have no gay people. That's right. They have zero gay people.
Kill them.
No, they don't kill them. The state does this to them. Seriously, I kid you not.
Well, right. But that's the thing is, people need to get the fact that gay and trans are in the same boat. They are not. And that is the thing. Gay people they were born this way. They're not born in the wrong body. They are born loving. They are born loving a certain sex. This is getting so convoluted now that I don't know how more gay people aren't standing up and going, look, we don't want kids mutilated either.
We're in a modern day fad. It's a fad. It's a fad like bulimia was a fad or anorexia. Or
that's not a fad. It is a mental illness.
Yes, and it's a fad just like how Tourette's is a fad right now.
I'm telling you, I would not call it a fad. It's been around forever.
Dissociative disorder is also a fad. It pops up, and it pops up and it spurs. They've done the studies.
But anorexia, I'm telling you, when they never talked about it. You didn't talk about it.
Yeah, we didn't talk back in
People with the illness
in the 90s.
never
We didn't
would
talk.
talk about it.
In the 90s, we didn't talk. We're Gen Xers. We don't talk about our inside feelings. That's for ourselves. But
and let me tell you this: in the 90s, teachers didn't put you on a pedestal for a mental illness.
Bingo.
They stopped calling it. They're changing the words, they're changing definitions. And we have a huge group, not all, of teachers. Now, there are teachers out there that are trying so hard to protect kids that are struggling with this situation, and they're considered allies. And I know their hearts are in the right place, but there are also teachers out there who are actively pushing this along in a kid's mind and making a very big divide between parent and child. And
where did those teachers come from?
the colleges. By design.
Where, honestly, the enemy of our nation is in our public colleges and our public schools.
Yeah.
But I got a funny story.
It better be funny.
Tell me
you've laughed hard enough about my story.
Tell me. Oh, no, I didn't laugh about your story. I just laughed because you followed Dylan Mulvaney.
I don't follow him.
Is Dylan going to change her name to Delina or something?
She doesn't have to. It's a neutral name.
Change it. No, go hard at it, like astral fart cloud or something. Anyway, so transgender woman's lawsuit over discarded tissue dismissed. So,
come on.
So a dude starts dating this cookhead, right? This way out there, super purple haired, humana. I'm not going to read the story. I'm just going to tell you what I know. And they break up. She moves out, but she left her testicles in a mason jar in the fridge when she moved out, when they broke up. So he let him stay in the fridge. I think it was for like 4 months. And then finally he's like, I'm done with this. And he threw her testicles that were in the mason jar away. So she took him to court to try to sue him for multiple thousands of dollars because he threw away her testicles. They call it discarded tissue. But it was thrown out of court, I believe, because she left her testicles in a mason jar in his fridge for a long time.
Again, this is the stupidest conversation we've ever had. This can't even be real. I mean,
oh, this is a Monty Python sketch.
This is a South Park episode already.
Did you see that one? It was Macho Man Randy Savage competing in the Girl Olympics.
No, I don't watch South Park because I think it gets too trashy.
Yeah, I'm here to...
And my kids always want to watch it. And I'm like, nope, because I don't want to have conversations. South Park always involves.
I'm going to tell you this right now. I think watching South Park will inoculate your kids to this.
What are you talking about?
I think your kids it'll make them see it and see it for the tragedy and comedy that it is.
South Park has absolutely already done that with so many things.
That's what I'm saying. It'll do that for your kids.
The COVID episode they had was pretty great. Did you see that one?
Yes, I did. Tonight, I am starting off with some Rogue Gumbaroo. It's a West Coast India Pale Ale. It's quite good. It's got a bitter hop to it, not as much citrus on the nose. It's quite good.
Thank you for that commercial.
You're
we
welcome.
should also do a commercial for Jay's case.
Yeah, let's knock out Jay's case. So if you do get can Jay's case do the
hormonal therapy?
No, when you get a body part swapped out, you got to go on those steroids that make it so you don't reject it.
Rejection. Yeah. Well, yeah.
So if you get the uterus tossed in your belly,
don't bring that up with Jay's case, please.
Can you get an extra year of your uteral retention medication?
I want to punch you so hard in the face. I can't even believe you have a whole group of trans people angry that they don't get periods.
I heard that
they carry tampons with them.
Tampons in men's pants.
Why are we? This world is so crazy.
But I support
not the
that.
world, this country and the West. Let's just say
the West.
Western
I support
civilizations.
What if I'm wandering through a school and I get shot, right? Bam. I can pop into any boy's bathroom, drop a quarter, get a tampon, plug a gun hole.
How many of the last shootings were done by someone with a mental disorder?
All of them.
All of them. How many
think
in the
every mass shooting is done by someone with a mental disorder.
So why aren't we focused on helping people with mental illness in this country?
Because the Democrats want to take your guns. Holly, that's what they want to do. They actually, I think secretly.
What does one have to do with the other?
Because the more of these happen, the more power they get to take your guns. I think secretly the Democrats support this crap. I'm not lying.
Well,
straight up.
I don't know how we would ever find out and no one says the quiet part out loud unless it's Joe Biden, and then that gets blackout.
That's not what he meant to say. He actually meant to say, "True shoving of the pressure."
Whatever he had to say, I'm still just.
She kept her testicles in the fridge. For a long time out in my freezer outside, I was tan and hide, so I had a Solo cup that had a rubber glove over the top of it that had that had deer brains in it because I used them to tan hides. And it mortified all the ladies in my family.
Well, yeah, they probably thought
but
you
it
were
was
like Jeffrey
it was
Dahmer
not in
style.
my food freezer. It was in a separate freezer.
It was in a tannin freezer.
It was in a
for your
separate
hides and such.
A separate freezer, but they were mortified. What's in this? Deer brains. I got some looks.
Guys, I just want to know when are we going to find the answer, and why are we taking kids away from parents that are just trying to love their parents and let their kids grow up innocently until they're 18? Why is the state stepping in? They stepped in Montana and took a kid and sent it to his biological mother in Canada from a loving father who refused to put his child on hormone blockers. And yet now it's there in another country, a country that will pay for the whole thing. And this dad has zero rights.
What if it's all just a sacrifice to Moloch?
I don't know what that is.
Moloch was the ancient Canaanite god that they sacrificed children to. And then all right, someone come through for me. Dwayne, what's in California by San Francisco, the politician and rich person summer camp that they go to?
Illuminati? Carthaginian god?
Yeah, it's a Carthaginian god. But what is the Bohemian Grove? They worship Moloch there. They have a cremation of care where they have a big Moloch statue and they have a effigy of a child they burn. And what if all this, the abortion, hacking off the twig and giggleberries, all of that is all just a sacrifice to Moloch? Because the Carthaginians did it for wealth and prosperity, and so the plants would grow. What if our leaders are Worshippers of Moloch.
I don't know how we move forward. I don't know how we move forward in a nation where we can't even say life matters. We can't even say a child's life matters in the womb, or that elderly lives matter.
I like Dave's question, second from the bottom there.
Rude.
When
we live in a world like this, how do we expect to have a future? I mean, we're gonna be screwed. Because
dude, seriously,
the youth of today.
Come on, cancer. He was originally Phoenician. Yes. Sorry.
We actually are in trouble, people. If we can't even show sympathy to those, I mean, I show sympathy. I have a lot of sympathy for people going through trans issues. I have tons of sympathy. I feel like they do need support, and they need to be reaffirmed in the sense that they can get through it, that they're not alone, and they'll be loved, and there is help they can get to help them get through it. But to just say, hey, let's lop it all off. Yeah, you're right. You're 12 years old. You know best. They wouldn't let him vote. You can't drive a car. Sure can't get a tattoo, smoke, drink. They can't trust you with any of that. But they will take you from your parents and cut your stuff off because 12, you think it's a good idea. This is insane. And the fact COVID showed us that the doctors are going to follow the money or the directive, all in the name of what? Public health? Even without the science, even without the research.
Science, I don't think, is no longer a testing tool they use. I think science is now being used as a cudgel.